Meditation Master JinBodhi's Dharma teachings lead a Bodhisattva life. Hello, everyone. Hello, Master. Though time is limited, given your abundant excitement and joy, I'll try to give you more time to practice. Are you feeling well? Very well. You should be experiencing benefits now. Yes. Compared to the first day, you must have a lot more energy. Even if you practice conscientiously for just 3 hours, your overall physical condition, including fatigue, discomfort and even worries, will be completely transformed. You'll become relaxed, happy and at ease. Why have I spent all these years dedicating my life to spreading Buddha Dharma, practice, and meditation in particular? They're really good. After a tiring and busy week, people may relax through many different activities. Playing sports, hiking, jogging, fishing or playing mahjong. None of these are as effective as meditating for 3 hours as I advise. Your fatigue will disappear quickly. Joyful, positive, healthy energy will fill your body. How wonderful! This benefit alone will take us a lifetime to study and understand. This is the so-called inconceivable phenomenon of Buddhism. Just through chanting and visualization, almost motionless action, we can achieve such good effects. It's just inconceivable. Even now, I still find it hard to understand. It's impossible to use a generally accepted theory to explain it. For example, spontaneous fasting, no eating, or eating a little, for a long period. People who don't know about it may say, isn't it a sudden gastric disease? No, gastric diseases cause pain and discomfort. But spontaneous fasting transcends the limits of life. Generally, one starves to death in 7 or 8 days without eating. But with spontaneous fasting, one stays vigorous even after 15 days. Illness may be cured and one has lots of energy and remains in high spirits. After a few days' practice, almost everyone will become better tempered. Of course, I don't mean a change of personality. That is hard to alter. I mean your temper, which may be good or bad. During a certain period, one can easily lose one's temper, right? Everyone has this experience. The human body changes cyclically every month, or every 100 days. On some days, one is always very happy, remaining calm even in the face of trouble and never getting angry. Other times, for no reason, one loses his temper at whatever happens, and feels even worse when nothing happens. Right, yes. But why? It's because of the body's problems, such as fatigue. If one is exhausted, one's words never sound pleasant. Among laborers such as miners, construction workers, bricklayers and so on. Many talk coarsely, very directly, and argue in the most unrefined language. Why? Exhaustion makes one lose one's temper.
这就是疲劳，疲劳之后就没好气，
A
没好气
bad temper causes unpleasant speech and even unpleasant facial expressions.
对，
But after some practice, you look even tempered and become milder.
少了，好像人温顺了很多，对。
Does losing our temper affect our body?
会呀，
Yes. Through our practice, many physical changes will certainly occur.
学术一点说叫生理上必然得到改变，
Accordingly, mental change will follow.
随之改变，
One will be at ease and become healthy.
健康了。
After these days of practice, if you feel benefits and obvious changes,
自己感觉到，这个自己受益的这种感觉，这个效果，自己能够体会得到，很明显的。
please raise your hand. Almost everyone does. Thank you.
差不多都有受益。好，谢谢。
Quite a few were complainers, happy about nothing at the beginning.
什么都不顺眼，
Why is the ceiling so high? Or, why is the ceiling so low? About a cushion given or removed, they'd say, why give me this, or why take it away? Wow, no matter what, they are irritated. Irritation and fatigue are caused by stress. But after 7 days, no one complains. Everyone is smiling and happy.
每个人都特别开心。
So we can understand Sakyamuni Buddha's achievement. He practiced for 7 or 8 years. He was a person of great capacity. It's truly incredible. He was born extraordinary.
这是我觉得。
After 7 or 8 years' practice, he attained Buddhahood. He sees through humans and the whole world,
一切都观察完全透彻了，
which is inevitably related to the energy accumulated during his years of practice.
这是必然的关系。
His physical body was completely transformed as well. By practicing with a correct technique, eventually our body can be transformed.
最后我们的人体它就改变了。
So, after Sakyamuni Buddha's nirvana, his bones became sarira.
涅槃之后，那他这个骨头化成了石粒。
At cremation, ordinary people's bones are burned into ashes, whereas his weren't.
烧化了，它那个烧不坏。
A piece of the Buddha's finger sarira is stored at Feimin Temple in China.
无舍利，有那样一段。
Other pieces are stored in Sri Lanka and Burma. Later, other pieces were discovered and considered to be his sarira. In fact, many later great Buddhists and sages
我们佛门的先师大德
also left behind sarira after their nirvana. Unlike ordinary people, their bones don't disintegrate when burned.
木头燃烧之后烧人体呢，正常都烧化了，它就没有烧化。
I've seen many kinds of sarira. Some resemble colorful precious stones, others look like colorful glass beads.
玻璃珠，但是带色彩。
A longtime disciple who used to practice with me in China
山东人
passed away in Vancouver. He was cremated in a funeral parlor.
那不是自己火化了，它是那个所谓的那个殡仪馆火葬场火化。
After cremation, many pieces of sarira were found. Miraculously, there were pieces of sarira like gold, as heavy as pieces of
拿起
gold.
来掂量掂量，就是黄金的重量。
They were the size of a green bean, over 10 pieces. We asked his family if he had any gold fillings.
他有没有金牙？
No, he had good
从来没
teeth.
见过牙口特别好。
He never wore gold rings either. Was a gold ring put on his finger before his
金
cremation?
戒指放在身上，
Impossible.
不可能的。
He suddenly got sick, went to the hospital, and never came out. In fact, he wasn't sick, but he was in great discomfort and died soon after arriving at the hospital. After cremation, golden sarira appeared. Some resembled flowers. It's really miraculous. I'm not talking about death now, but that after practice, our body can be
我们
transformed.
这个血肉之躯都能改变。
So, it isn't hard to understand Buddha's transcendent wisdom,
大地的智慧，
which makes him see through the world.
就可以理解了。
So, successful practice takes time.
修行啊，不是一日之功，我
We
们
have
只
to
要
practice
认真地、
conscientiously and
诚心地去
sincerely.
修啊。
The
跟师父
methods that
传递
I've
给你的
taught
方法呢，
bring
是
you
从
fitness
健
and
身
achievement
到
without
成
any
就
downside.
而要保证不出偏差的一个修行方法。
I hope this discussion will
沟通
benefit
交流
many
下
people.
也使得真正有缘人
Even
平时
if you
哪怕见
don't
不
see
到
me
我，
very
那
often,
你
you
应该
still
好
need
好
to
修
practice hard.
天
There is
下
no
没有绝对
absolutely
平
smooth
坦路
road in this world.
啊，
If
如果
there
绝
is,
对的
it's
平
only
坦
a
仅仅
short
是一个
section.
短暂的一小段，就是
Wide,
我们自
straight
然界的
roads
这个
only
路道
last
是
for a
简单
short
的。你
section.
说特别宽、特别直的路只是一段啊，
The
再往
rest
前
are
走就可
rough,
能沟
full
沟
of
坎坎。
bumps.
这
This
也正
reminds
是
us that our life's journey runs the
告诉我
same
们人
way.
生之路也是这样子，人生之路也是这样啊。
Life's
最宝贵
most
的也许在
valuable
身边，
things may
也许
surround us, or show
最
up
宝
in
贵
the
的
most
正在最
difficult
艰难的
times.
时候啊。成就也
Achievement
是
in
这样子，
practice is the
你
same.
这
The
个环境越
harder the
难，
environment
我
is
们
and
越
the
珍
more
惜
sincere you
效果
are,
就
the
好。
better the
可是你在
effects.
最
It's
贫
like
穷的
if
时
you're
候
given a bowl of
啊，
rice
别人
while
给
in
你一碗
dire
米，
poverty.
你
You'll
这一
never
生都
forget
念
it
念
and
不
tell
忘，
your
要告
children
诉
to be
儿孙们
grateful.
报恩于人。
When
你在
it's
最寒
freezing
冷的时
cold and
候
someone gives you a coat,
啊，很冷很冷，别人送你一个棉衣服
though
啊，
it's
不很
dirty
脏，
and
你就
old,
感
you'll
恩
be
你能
grateful
记一辈子。
forever. Yes,
我们
it's
修
the
行也是
same
这
for
样，这个
practice.
环
The
境越
more
困难
difficult the environment
啊，越
is, the
艰
more
难，
sincere
我
our
们越是
practice
真
must
心
be.
不二的修，
Then
我
it's
想才最
easier
容
to
易
reach the highest
达到
state.
最高的境界。
And
它
the
的
merit and
功
energy
德，
are the
它的
strongest.
能量也是最强。
If you're
这是开
casual
放的，
and
随
take
便
it
做什么都
easy,
行。
you'll be
哎，
distracted.
你那个心也散了，
The
越懂越
practice
懂
is less
作用
effective.
就很小了啊，作用就会很差。
I
也希
hope
望
you
大
keep
家
practicing
回家之后，
diligently after
一
this
个是个人
class.
好好修，另外
Also,
我们知
helping
道
others
当
is the
人
way of
当
Bodhisattva.
人啊，就是行菩萨道，
It
就
can
是
enhance our
提
wisdom,
高我
generate
们
merit,
的
and
觉
increase
悟
our
和智
energy.
慧，又是能积功累德啊，增加个人能量。还有的时候
Also,
在教
before
人的
teaching
时候，
others, you have to
是
think
将
through
师父所讲的这些佛法、
the
这些道理、
buddhadharma,
这
truths
些
and
智慧，
wisdom I've taught
在你的
several
大脑之
times.
中多走了几遍，你才能讲出来告诉别人。所
This
以
will
又
enhance
提
your
高了自己的
understanding
灵
and
魂，
lift you to a higher
使
state
自
of
己达到
mind.
更高境界。所
So
以你看，
helping
在
others is a
帮
good
人度
method
人的
of
时候，
swiftly
其
uplifting
实是一个
yourself.
快速提升自己的一个很好的一个方法。所以经常
Therefore,
帮人
those
度
who
人的
often
人，
help
对
others
他
are
这个大脑
increasingly intelligent
越
and
来越
wise.
聪明智慧啊。其
When
中一
teaching
项
others,
原因
you
就是
review the
你在
teachings
告诉别
several
人的时候，自
times.
己在你的这个大脑里已经过了好几遍了，你
Then
就
you
领悟了，
understand them and
所以
become
你
a
就变成
person
一
full
个
of
智慧的
wisdom.
人。在
Helping
帮人的
others
功
also
德又
brings
引
you
发了
many
让你有很
merits,
多
blessings,
功
and
德、福
energy.
分都有了，能量也有了。
All
再具有
these
智
plus
慧，
wisdom
那
mean
你
your
这个人的
charisma
这个
and
魅
energy
力
will become
和
quite
能
different.
量，就和过去不可同日而语。
The
你的变
change
化就
in
大
you
了。
will be significant.
那我
Several
看到好几
practitioners
位
used to be
这个
listless and extremely
我们的
weak.
同修啊，就是在之前，有的人是叫萎靡不振，好像没有能量了啊，
They
弱得不
spoke
得
so
了，
softly
说
that it
话
was
声
hard
音
to
细
hear
细的，我
them.
用力听不清楚的，啊，就
Lacking
没底气
energy,
了，
they could do
做人也
nothing
什么都不
well.
行
After
啊。
hearing my
常常给
teachings
他
and
派
acting
支人去
accordingly,
做，
they
这
gained
信心来
confidence.
了，在
After
外面
practicing for some
用了一
time,
小段
their
时间，越
techniques
用越好
improved.
啊，
Ah,
整个这个人
completely
的精
different
神
and
面貌像换
transformed.
了一个
They
人
became brighter and
啊，
more alive.
换了一个人一样，什么都不同了，都变得越来越好，越来越阳光啊。 这
It's
一
all
切都
because
是
of
能
energy,
量
a phenomenon due to the
啊，
accumulation
能
of
量的
energy.
一个储蓄积累造成的一个现象啊。
How
这样的
wonderful.
话，
You
那
can
你
live
活得就
happily
痛快
now.
了。哎，
If
要
you
做
start
事
a
业容
career,
易
you'll
成就，
succeed
会
easily.
交
You'll
朋友，
find many
能
true
交真心的
friends.
朋友，能交一大堆，哎，
How
多好，
wonderful.
多
How
快乐。
happy you are. As
如
an
果普通
ordinary
人
person,
也不
without
帮
helping
人，也
others
不
or
做什么
doing
好
good
事儿，
deeds,
这
you'll
一
never
生都
have
没
good
把好
friends
朋
to
友。
confide in.
想说个心里话也没地方， 所
And you'll have no place to go during holidays. You won't be welcome wherever you go. So we should help others, and pass on buddhadharma.
又能够将慈悲的佛法传递给人，
To benefit and free others from
再能帮
suffering.
人解除痛苦，
What
这样
kind
的
of
人生
life is that?
是什么样的呢？
Whether
不管
you
你自
see
己
your
有没有看到
radiance
自
or
己的光
not,
彩，
you're a living Guanyin Bodhisattva.
我是觉得这就是活生生的观世音菩萨在世。
This infinite compassion of
这种
Guanyin Bodhisattva
观世音菩萨的大慈大悲的这种伟大的行径，
is an
是靠我们每
accumulation of
天
each and
的
every day
每
and
件
every small deed.
慈悲的付出的这一件件的小事，把它组成的。
These
像
small
佛说，
acts
我
shine
身
like
上
the
的每个
billions
毛
of
孔
rays from
都
each of
放着
Buddha's
亿万的
pores.
毫光。
Countless tiny good deeds
那
build the
这
Bodhisattva's
尊整个
body.
的菩萨，他的身体是由无数的这些小小的善事就组成了菩萨。
Which is a great,
巨大
perfect
完美的
life.
生命。
It's
是
the
由这些小
collection
小
of
的
many
善事组
small
成
good
的。
deeds.
所
How
以
important it
我们
is
去
for us
帮
to
人
help
有
others.
多么重要。
Molding a
所以我们说
statue of a
塑佛
Buddha
像
is like molding
是
our own
塑自
future.
己的未来。
Helping
那
others
帮人
creates our
就
own
成就
Bodhisattva
自己的
life.
菩萨道的人生啊！
With
你这
such a
样的人
life,
生，
if you do
你的
go to
未来
hell, you're there to save
啊，
sentient
如果
beings.
去地狱，那也是去到地狱普度众生啊。那是
Because
因
of your
愿
own
力而
vow
去，
to do
你不
so,
会说
not
因
for
为
your
罪过而
sins.
去地狱啊。
You'll
如果上
surely
天
go
堂
to
是必
heaven,
然，
to live eternally with no birth and no
上
death.
到那个不生不灭的天堂啊，永远注视的天堂。
How awesome! Practicing conscientiously and sincerely, and helping others, achieves our own Bodhisattva life. All
这一
this
切就
depends
在于
on
领
your
悟吧。
understanding.
我呢
I've
是
told you all I
该
can.
告诉你的，我就要告诉你。
If
如
you
果听懂
understand,
了呢，
do as much
能
as
做
you
多少
can.
做多少。
As
所
to
以帮
helping
人
others,
不
your
在于环境
circumstances
怎
are
么样
irrelevant.
是在于你的心。对，
In
实际上
fact,
是
it is
由
your
自己的
consciousness that determines your
意识
conduct.
来决定自己的行为的。
For many
在很多
years,
年前
I've
呢，
been
我就
praising
说
water.
我很赞叹水。水。
What is
这个水
wonderful
的
about
好处
water
呢，
is, it
水的
remains
好处
water
是
all the time, despite taking
它永
many
远是
different
水，但是它
forms.
可以用任何形
Right.
式出现，是不是啊？
In
这个寒
cold
冷的时候
weather,
变成
it
冰
turns
块
into ice and snow,
变成雪花
decorating the cold winter.
啊，都能把这个寒冷的冬天来装点啊。
In
热的
hot
时候
weather, it is
我是
liquid.
水，是液体啊。有
What
没有
can
东西
block
可以挡得
water?
住呢？
It
挡
can
住的
only
是
be
局部
blocked
而已，
partially,
没有东
nothing
西
can
能把水
totally
挡住。
block water. If
放
it's
到这
put
个
in
瓶子里，它们
bottles,
慢
it
慢
will
慢慢飞
evaporate
掉，
gradually. The whole breaks up
那就
into
化为零。
parts.
所以
Some
有
are
些人渡
unable
不
to
了
help
人，就说我
others
一想
because they
叫
want
人
to
就
start
300
with
人，
300
那你不
people.
如
I'd
从一
rather
个
you
人开
start
始。
with one.
哎，
It's
说你的
important
心，
not to lose your spirit
你
while
的
under
心有
external
没有被
pressure.
灭掉？但是这个环境给人的压力，有时候这个心会被灭掉，会死掉。
If
但是
you
就灭掉
do,
了你
the
的一切
opportunity
功
to
德的机会
accumulate
啊！
merit is destroyed.
哎，
So
所以对
don't
于
stop
佛
practicing the Buddha's
他所
compassion,
行的大
whatever the
慈大悲之道，
circumstances.
我们不能因环境改变而改变啊！所以
When
你
you
看，我
walk
们
into
走
a
到寺
temple,
庙，
starting at
从
the
进山
gate,
门开始啊，
you'll
什么
see
那些
statues of
类似
heavenly
天兵天将
soldiers
的
and
样子，都是
generals.
一种
All
很
look
武力的。
powerful. In
从
terms
修
of the
行境
state
界
of
上来说，第一，
practice, they
我
may
们
be
是金刚，
vajras.
再往
Going
下走罗
further,
汉，
you'll find
再往下
arhats
走
and
才是
then
菩萨
bodhisattvas.
啊。所以
So,
你进
entering a temple,
寺
at the
庙的大门，
entrance,
通
who are
常
the
佛
four
教寺庙
gods
的
you
大门，
first see?
进大门之后，正中大门的这个时候，先见到的4尊神是谁呢？
The four heavenly gods.
对，这就代
Yes,
表天
you've
界之
stepped
上，
into the realm of heaven.
是这样，你开始上天了，天界之上。那么这个
Outside the
天界
realm
之
of
上
heaven, who
的
are
外面
those
前面那
guards
些
at the
把门
gates?
护卫的是谁呢？
They are usually Vajras and Arhats. Going further, you'll find increasingly gentle practitioners. In the center behind the Buddha statue stands Guanyin Bodhisattva. The Buddha, stately and supple, is a combination of firmness and flexibility. This combination of yin and yang is hard to explain. It's neither purely mighty and steely, nor as soft as water either, but rather a combination of all, a perfect image. The female-like Bodhisattva's skin is very soft. So gentle. Light from their eyes is not piercing, it's soft. Some practitioners imitate their gentle walk and soft manner of speaking. Is this a kind of learning? Yes, it is. Can these gentle bodhisattvas be destroyed? No. Even if the world is destroyed, they won't be. Their heart, body and blood are diamond-like. Their flowing blood is liquid, yet as hard as diamonds. But still they look very soft. I mean, their hardness comes from their faith. Nobody can change it. They'd rather be burned or hacked to death than change the compassion and goodness to which they aspire. These beings are bodhisattvas. Many have done very well. They must have had the courage to help many people. However, correct methods must be used. The most important thing is to have strong faith. Correct methods will arise from strong faith. It's like water flowing through mountains. Flowing to lower places, it becomes extremely powerful. Where there are mountains, there are valleys. In deep valleys, water gathers its strength and power. Water generates power and supports life. Just imagine how powerful. What can block water? Nothing. When the Yellow River flows, can we block it? No. You can't block it completely, only partially. Your compassion should be the same, so should your faith. You can vary your methods, but not your heart or your will. In this manner, you can succeed. No pain, no gain. If you want to have a deathless body of diamonds and be free from sufferings, you've got to have such a heart. Such a heart is surely good for specific needs, such as achieving freedom from disease. As I said, after 8 years of practice, Sakyamuni Buddha became enlightened. He attained enlightenment on one day, but he had practiced for 8 years. Every day he accumulated energy and wisdom. His daily practices and aspirations were extremely important.
对他来说都是至关重要的。
It was not only the day of enlightenment that was
那
important.
觉悟的那一天才是最重要的。
Like cooking steamed buns, it takes half an hour to reach the moment of being
开盖的
cooked.
那一刹那而已。
The steaming process is essential.
非常的必要的。
So, be it for bettering health, gaining wisdom, or transforming our lives, consistent practice is important. Buddhadharma's miraculousness and inconceivability are ineffable.
不可思议性，我们真是无法用语言来表达。
Buddhadharma enables one to meander between heaven and earth. Even an illiterate person can become a sage and teach it like a professor.
可以能登堂说法，在智慧上应该，我们说的具体一点，可能不次于大学的教授。
It enables an ordinary person to benefit countless people.
能够造福无数的人。
If you aspire to practice conscientiously and as instructed,
认真按照我所要求去做，
you can do the same. Someone may ask, do I need to practice for 18 years? No. You'll be able to help others after practicing for 18 days. If you dare to do so, you'll have such energy and wisdom. Of course, such energy and wisdom, along with our aspirations, experiences and accumulated merits, will become more and more powerful. A fellow practitioner, my former disciple, didn't practice hard after I left China.
我离开中国之后，他就没好好修。
She later came to Vancouver. Her hard life made her a mumbling, dull-witted person.
说话是很没头绪，头脑都不灵光。
We once had a
有一天
chat
我们俩聊天，
about how one could gain true achievement so as to help
真正有
others.
成就有本事帮人啊。
I said a complex way was to practice 6 perfections. My gosh, it'll take forever. I'll never achieve it, she said. A simple way is by faith.
简单的就是靠信心。
With strong faith in your master and whatever he says,
相信师父所说的话，
you'll be empowered with energy instantly.
就有很强大的能量。
In China, she saw how, in a healing session,
讲到给现场没修过的人加持，
I empowered a person who'd never practiced to successfully heal other people.
效果特别强大。
Recalling this, she asked, does faith really work?
那师父这是真的是假的？
If I'm firm in my faith, can I achieve that? Being my disciple, how can you be so unsure? Good for you to have spoken your mind. I won't teach you if you lack confidence.
看你这个样子也没信心。
I have faith. I'll do it even if I have to die. Why would I let you die? I even want to revive the dead. No need to die, just breathe. She said, I want to help others like you.
帮人。
I said, aren't you afraid of contagions? No, I'm not afraid. I feel ashamed that I haven't done anything decent, despite having studied with you so closely. I'm a fool.
待了这么长时间才知道自己是个大笨蛋。
I said, all I want is your faith in me. I have faith. If you asked me to jump off the roof, I'd do it. No need to jump. I then empowered her and said, you can now heal people.
那以后你就可以给人治病了。
But
我
how?
怎么治啊？
Do it in any way, as long as you don't blindly prescribe or do acupuncture. Really, she was still unsure. I then gave her a paper fan and said, okay, just strike with or wave the fan.
需要敲敲打打扇一扇。
You may feel more confident when holding something in your hand. You are empowered with energy. She became very firm in her faith. After I left Vancouver for Taiwan and other places to spread Buddha Dharma, she used her energy to heal people.
去接待别人，来一个就给你调一个，
She succeeded in healing many people.
那个疾病都让他给调理好，
The results were amazing. When asked how long she'd been practicing, she just made up a number, 30 years. With such good effects, she had to exaggerate, otherwise people wouldn't trust her. She's called a fairy or bodhisattva, anything but human. The amazing effects were due to her faith. She had it once I empowered her. In practice, faith is most important. Buddha said the same thing. Buddha once said that for a Buddhist, the three most important things are faith, aspiration and practice. These are the three essentials for Buddhists to acquire buddhadharma. Faith, belief. Absolute faith results in belief. You just believe whatever the Buddha says, which may sound foolish. Ordinary people would think this deprives one of judgment. It just shows its inconceivability. But many truths in Buddhism are conceivable. For example, you reap what you sow, the law of causality is well accepted. But to reach a higher state of practice, faith is crucial. Some Buddhist truths make sense to the rational mind. But certain sacred circumstances, such as faith, are beyond human comprehension. Meditation practice has its sacredness, as does prostration. Practicing prostration lowers high blood pressure. High blood sugar and cholesterol may also improve in less than a month of prostrating. It also controls diabetes, heart disease and obesity effectively. Prostration is especially effective at curing digestive problems. The most unique effect is awakening wisdom. Practicing diligently may open your divine eye. If it hasn't happened in 3 years, maybe it wasn't meant to be. For a Buddhist, the three most important things are faith, aspiration and practice. I've practiced all the techniques I've taught today. I was always reluctant to switch from one technique to the next due to the miracles each creates. Prostration can open one's divine eye. Sincere chanting for 6 months or a year will result in psychic ability. But how do you practice? If you chant half-heartedly, you can hardly achieve the aforementioned effect. Nevertheless, if you chant half-heartedly for a year, you can still become an auspicious person, that's for sure. If you chant wholeheartedly for a year using Bodhi immeasurable chanting, you'll become a saint with psychic ability. You can transcend life and death if you vow to chant wholeheartedly. Your body will emit a nice fragrance. Some may ask what fragrance it is. It's wondrously sweet for sure. Your pure body and open mind create the delicate fragrance from within. And cause diseases to disappear. Does enlightenment guarantee permanent disappearance of diseases? No. This reminds me of a Taoist immortal known as Cripple Li. He was immortal but crippled, which intrigues me. Eternal karma exists. He was born crippled. Despite his crippled leg, he gained a diamond body, which isn't bad. If you can gain a diamond body, having crippled legs isn't an issue. But this rarely happens. Some karma isn't alterable, but much karma is. So, you need to conscientiously practice what I've taught. If you do so, you'll achieve phenomenal power and effects. I've noticed you're really conscientious. You came from afar to practice. So if you aren't, you're wasting your time and money. However difficult the circumstances, we should conscientiously do whatever we need to, according to our aspirations. Regardless of our environment or financial and social status, we must uphold our principles. In curing diseases, there is nothing that can't be used. Even poison can be used. Everything can be useful. You can tell what kind of person I am. First and foremost, buddhadharma and compassion are my life. My methods are extraordinary and miraculous. Some grumble about Buddhist practitioners driving cars. I say, fly a plane if you can. Why can normal people drive cars, but Buddhist practitioners have to walk? It's unreasonable. What matters most is what you do with these things. That's the key. Remember the Buddhist fable. A man lured kids out of a burning house with the promise of a spectacular chariot. That's not lying, it's wisdom. Had he been honest, the children wouldn't have come out. They'd have burned to death. A small white lie led the children to safety. Isn't it a worthy way of achieving a big goal? Of course, I don't mean to teach you to lie. Everything in this world can be used as a medicine to save lives. If it can save lives, use it. Some medicines are highly toxic by nature, such as arsenic. A famous Chinese folktale tells of Wusong's brother, who was poisoned with it. Now, medicine for cancer usually counteracts it. This is called combat poison with poison. Chinese and Western medicine are similar in this respect. Many medicines can't be used alone. Only mixed with another can it heal humans. Then, which worldly method counts as Buddha Dharma? There's no specific method. If all you meditate on is seeking revenge, killing, cursing and destroying, then you create negative consequences, which isn't good, right? Like Tibetan Venerable Milarepa, in his early practice, he did exactly the same. Don't assume everyone doing meditation is practicing good things. Not necessarily. Some illiterate parents see their child as reading and think he's good. But it's erotic stuff. Reading doesn't mean reading good books. An action itself is neither good nor bad. It depends on your intention. That's what matters most. So, our conduct should follow the supreme way that exists in our heart. The supreme way in your action may not be glamorous, but you may still be remembered as a hero. When you act in real life, you may have to crawl on the ground and look awkward. However excellent a soldier's kung fu, if he meets an electric barbed wire fence, he still has to crawl under it. Otherwise, despite his excellent kung fu, he'd be electrocuted to death. If he stood up, he'd be shot by the enemy's machine gun. So, if you have to crawl, just do it. It isn't disgraceful at all. Remember, falling isn't failure. Today I am angry or embarrassed. Am I a failure? No. A true Buddhist disciple should act like Guanyin Bodhisattva. Change yourself according to sentient beings' needs. To meet sentient beings' needs, he may become a dirty, fly-attracting, stinky, ugly man cleaning a bathroom. He doesn't feel degraded. He only thinks about benefiting people. He doesn't care about his embarrassing, dirty, shameful appearance. Real practitioners have no concept of face. If you care too much about image, you won't achieve any right, good things. During the spring and autumn period in Chinese history, 770 to 476 BC, King Gujian was captured after his country was defeated. He did all kinds of hard manual labor. The victor gave him a decent house, thinking he'd always be a captive. But he didn't take it. He lived in a straw hut. To inspire himself to change his situation, he lived in squalor and ate garbage, so as to inspire himself not to fail. In that circumstance, he didn't lose heart, fail or give up. His eventual victory was just a natural result. Those who truly fail are those who lose heart. Those who agonize over their unemployment are fools. I'd think of being unemployed as a good thing. There must be a better job waiting for me. A strong person thinks that way. The heavenly way applies to everyone. The key is whether you've lost heart or not. So, we can appear to have any identity and any image. Don't care much about your image. If you do, it does great harm. Let me tell you a story about saving face. A girl didn't do well in the National University entrance exam. Her parents used their hard-earned money to send her to study in Canada. Previously, she lived with her grandma and had never left her before. During those years, she'd always slept with her grandma in the same bed. When she was abroad alone, she spoke little English. The cost of living was very high. Her studies made her stressed. She didn't know how to make friends or unwind. After 2 years, she couldn't bear it and had to fly back to see her mom. You can't always get a flight right away. There were no daily flights, only one flight a week. She bought her ticket 5 days in advance, but couldn't bear it anymore and hanged herself the day before the flight. She missed her mom so much that she hanged herself. She felt her road had been cut off. Her language barrier left her with no money, no friends. She was embarrassed to tell her family and felt depressed. She felt she'd failed in everything. Don't all international students experience the same difficulties? If you survive the challenges, you've won. But she didn't make it. Facing the same problems, different people create different results. Many girls take a suitcase and go abroad, eventually becoming very rich. It's not uncommon. It's all about your
你
willpower.
的定力还有没有？
Think
你只有
only
一种
about
生
living,
的
don't think about
想法，就
death.
是死都不要想，失败之
Failure
后
has
没
no
有任何
connection with
缘分
me at all.
啊。
I
好的
was
生下
born
来
a
就是
strong
强者，就是
person
胜
and
利
a
者。
winner.
你
The
越是这
more
么
you
想，
think this
会激
way,
发
the
出自己
wiser
的
and more
这种
creative you
智
are.
慧之心就会产生，你就会自
Creativity
然会
just
跳出很
emerges
多
naturally.
能有创造力的那些想法啊，有创造力的意念就会自然就会爆破出来。
If you
尤其是你
believe in
信佛的
Buddhism,
话，
wherever
将你
you
走到哪里，
go, the
佛
Buddha
一
will
直都在
protect
看
and
你，
take care of
都
you.
在爱护着你。
There's
天下
always
没
a
有
way
绝人
out.
之路，
If
是
you
自
cut
己
off the
心
way
中
in your
绝了，
heart,
那
then there
自然
surely
就一
isn't
切都
any.
没有了。
Many
我们说
understand
这个
that
孩子
poor
出
girl's
国遇
situation.
到这个状况，很多人也会理解的啊，好
With
像
no
山穷
way
水尽，
out, she
那死
died
也
by
是可以理解的，
suicide.
又很可怜。再给
Another
你们讲一个
story, a
台
rich
湾一位大
Taiwanese
富豪
man
也
also
是杀人
died by suicide.
啊，
A
自杀之后
calculation
统计
after
一下
his
他的
death
资
showed
金，
his
他
assets
属于
totaled
自己
$1
离开的
billion.
资产10个亿的美金。
He
你
could
可以
travel
常
around
年
the
的
world
形容世界各
year-round
地，
and
花天
enjoy a
酒地玩就
hedonistic
好了，
lifestyle.
你
Why
何必
did he
死呢？
die?
因为
Guess
他的
what he
遗言是
thought?
什么呢？
Life
人
is
生
too
好无聊，
boring. I can buy whatever I
想买
want.
啥都有，
It's
太烦人
annoying.
了，
Life is meaningless.
没意义。他
My
有了
life's
生命的光
splendor
彩，
vanished.
我
The
生命
true
真正的意
meaning
义
of
已
life
经
is
过去了。
gone.
所以
Don't
你以为
assume
是
only
贫穷才
poverty
让人走
drives
向绝
people
路
to
啊，
desperation,
极
so
富的
does
富有
immense
同样走
wealth.
向绝路。
What
那
is
到底什
considered a
么叫
good
好呢？
life?
你
One in
心
which
中
the
充
heart
满了
is
希
full of
望，
hope.
有
We're
一个我们
chasing and
永
can
远
always achieve
在
it,
追
but
求，
not
永
in an
远也能得
absolute
到，但是
sense.
永远也不能绝对的得到的一种概念，那
It's
就是
infinite
大慈大
compassion.
悲。它是没有
Compassion
顶
has
点
no
的，
ceiling.
大慈大悲是没有顶点的。
You
你
may
是不是
wonder
走到
if
这个
you've
程度就是
gained
大
it
慈
at
大
a
悲了呢？
certain level.
没
No,
有，
it
没
has
有
no
顶点。
end
你
point.
感觉
You'll
大慈
ask
大悲，你
yourself,
自己都
I
会问
feel
我自
I'm
己
infinitely
啊，我心里
compassionate,
感觉
but
自己
what
大
have
慈
I
大悲，那
done?
我干了什么事儿呢？
You
很
realize
多
you
事儿
still
还需
have
要
a
干
lot
的，
to do.
干。
Continue.
啊，
We
像前头
offered
这些灾
help in
难，我
the
们看
recent
到了，我们帮了一
disasters.
点。但
But
你
when
真
you
正
see
看到他
real
们那些痛
pain,
苦，
you
才会发
realize
现自
your
己帮
help
的
is
太
far
少。
from enough. In
还有
many
世界上很
places
多
in the
并没有
world,
发现
there are
大
no
天灾的地
natural
方，而
disasters
人
but
在
many
犯
human
难，
ones.
你
Those
都需要
places
去帮
also
啊，
need your help. Can
你
you
帮得
help
完
them
吗？
all? In a
帮了
few
好的
years,
人，
most of
到过
them
些
will
年，
die.
该死也死，该走也走了，再生
Another
下来又
group
一
of
群穷
afflicted
人、
people will
笨
be
人、
born.
苦人、病人，
You'll
你
have
又
to
得
help
帮啊。
them too.
等你
Before
还没
you've
有
helped
帮
very
多少呢，
many,
你
you'll
也
be
死
dead
了。
as well.
跟这
So,
个理
you
想永
always
远都
head
在实
toward
现
the
的，但是永
ideal.
远走
That
不到
finish
顶点，
line can never be
所以
reached.
永远
So,
也
our heart will
自己的
forever
心
remain
也死不了
alive, which is a good deal.
啊。我就觉得倒是挺好的，挺划算那个生意，
You'll
你永
never
远走不上
despair.
绝路的。所
Engaging
以
in the Buddhist
做佛
cause of
教事业是
helping
帮人
keeps
的，
you
是越
busier
帮
and
越忙，越
busier.
帮越忙。自
You
己的事儿
always
干
have
不完
tons of
了，我
things
现
to
在就有点
do,
这样。
like me.
我觉
If
得
I
如
could
果
have a
能
month
够
of
看着自
retreat,
己，如果给我1个月的时间闭关修行，那是我
that'd be the
今生
most
最大的奢侈。
luxurious thing in my life. I
没有
just
时间
don't
的。
have time. You
大家
can
能
sit
够
and
在这
practice
个
in
道
this
场里
center
做
for
的事儿，
7
做
days
工7
straight.
天的时候，
Do
大家
you
知
know
道
how
要忙
long
多
it
长
took
时
to get
间
it ready?
为
At
这个
least
道场至少
1.5
忙了1
years,
年
with numerous sleepless
多少个
nights.
不眠之夜，还
Many
有
local
多
and
少
overseas
国内国外的
practitioners
同修弟子在这
vowed to
发
help,
心
donated
捐款
funds,
出
and worked
力。
on the
到我
spot.
们看到
Every
的每一
Buddha
尊
and
佛像、菩
Bodhisattva
萨像，
statue,
每一
every
块
piece of
地
the
板，
floor, and
每个
every
垫
cushion
子，是大
contains their
家
painstaking
心
labor.
血啊，都是心血。哎，
The
那些感人
stories
的
are
故事
so
啊，说起
moving
来
that
我
I
都
can
话都没
hardly
法讲。
continue my lecture.
我们的课就讲不了了，
So
非常令人
touching.
感动，非常令人感动。
Many
很多的发
donors are
心
not
捐款
rich
者根
people
本
at
不是什么
all.
富人，
They
他
are
很穷
actually
的人。
very poor.
啊，
An
有
old
老人家
lady
在
lives
农
in
村生
poverty
活，
but is still good-hearted.
什么都没有，关键在于一颗心。啊，
I
后来我
asked
就
her
想方
son
设
if
法
she
问他
had
的
any
孩子，
special wish.
那你妈妈是不是有什么特别的愿望吗？
No. Does she
想
wish
升
to
天
go to
堂吗？
heaven after
没有
death? No.
啊，
She only hopes more people benefit from Bodhi meditation. Many donors want something in return. Master, here is my donation. Please guide me to the land of Buddha after my death. Or, ensure my child's admittance to college. Or, bless my child with a good spouse and future. This lady has no request except to benefit people. Who is this? A Bodhisattva. We need to integrate Bodhisattva spirit into our own life. You don't look like a Bodhisattva, but most of the people who know you would see you as a real Guanyin Bodhisattva. It's not because of your miracles but your compassion. They're extremely happy to see you. If you're like this, you're a Bodhisattva. Compassion has no limit. We need to integrate Bodhisattva spirit into our own life. Help others from their birth to death. When practitioners, neighbors and relatives give birth to babies or celebrate birthdays, we should buy a gift and participate in the celebration. When someone passes away and needs chanting, we chant for him. Of course it depends. Some families don't believe in chanting. If you chant, you'll be told off. That's no good. Everything has its place. Causes and conditions must be considered. If parents invite you to chant, but their children oppose it, that's problematic. So, we must be careful. Doing good deeds requires both sincerity and common sense. If done improperly, good deeds may become bad ones. Proper helping requires good sense. Don't be too blunt. Nothing is absolute. Leave yourself enough room when dealing with situations. Only when people are grateful and wish for help do we perform good deeds. If a person asks for a day, don't chant for 3 days. Don't forget he has to go to work. So, you must use your brain and observe people's reactions. And figure out their needs. This is extremely important. Right thoughts and compassion are what we must have. When we help others, we must be aware that many afflictions are related to cultures, customs, religions, family backgrounds, childhood environments, education, knowledge, personalities, stages of life, etc. All of these factors need to be considered. It sounds very complicated, so how do we help others? It sounds complicated, but once you're aware of the factors, you can observe. Then when you offer your help, you can do it more effectively and properly. I'd like to remind you, if you don't practice, you don't have the ability to help others. You must practice by following my methods, including exercise, diet and helping others. Also, we need to have a happy mind. Have you read The Ups and Downs of Life Through the Eyes of the Awakened? Yes, it's a simple book. With a different perspective, we can resolve many problems. This is wisdom. A different thought, feeling or perspective is another angle. You'll find a different world. Simply put, human effort determines results. Some business people keep their prices low but still turn a profit. Others only want to make big profits by charging $15 per bowl instead of $5. If you have no business, you'll lose lots of money, right? Different people doing the same thing may have different results. What does this indicate? Thoughts and methods vary. Most importantly, it's a difference in views. In the book, many concepts and philosophical views are expounded on. From my own and an ordinary person's perspective. In fact, those concepts are conducive to handling daily affairs. I hope you read the book and introduce it to your relatives and friends. This is necessary, it's a way of helping others. We help others in many different ways. There isn't a fixed way. The way is determined by our mind. To practice the Bodhisattva way, first learn to observe the needs of others. Then use an appropriate method to help release people from sufferings.